You think you know hotels? The creaking floors, the whispers in the halls? What if those whispers aren't from the living? What if they're warnings? Warnings you must follow to make it out alive from the Belle Reve, New Orleans. My name's Alex. I'm a freelance historical researcher, and my latest gig brought me to New Orleans, specifically to the infamous Belle Reve Hotel. It's a landmark built in the late 1800s, draped in wrought iron and whispers of old money and forgotten tragedies. I booked a week, eager to dig into its archives for a book project. The moment I stepped through the grand, heavy doors, a chill snaked up my spine. Not from the AC, but something older, deeper. The desk clerk, a gaunt man with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of stories, barely looked up. He handed me a single brass key for room 408. No card, no digital lock. "Just remember, Mr. Thorne," he rasped. The older guests appreciate their quiet and their privacy. His words hung in the air, heavy and unsettling. Room 408 was exactly what you'd expect. High ceilings, heavy velvet drapes, and a 4-poster bed that felt like it belonged to a different era. The first night, I was deep into my research when a soft, insistent knock echoed from the antique wardrobe in the corner. Tap, tap, tap. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. Tap, tap, tap. It came again, a little louder this time. Logic told me it was the old building settling, or maybe the pipes. But an icy dread was gripping me. I took a hesitant step towards the wardrobe. Then, a chilling whisper seemed to brush my ear. Faint, like dried leaves skittering across pavement. "Don't answer. Never answer." I stumbled back, my breath catching in my throat. I didn't know who or what whispered, but I obeyed. I sat rigid until the knocks faded, leaving only the deafening silence. The next morning, I tried to convince myself it was just sleep deprivation. But the unease lingered. That afternoon, I was at the large, ornate mirror above the dresser, tying my hair back. For a split second, a figure materialized behind me in the reflection. A woman in a faded lace gown, her face a blur of sorrow. She was just there. I spun around. Nothing. Just the empty room. My blood ran cold. I stared back at the mirror, my own reflection staring back, but something felt off. Then I heard it again, that faint, raspy whisper, this time laced with urgency. "Never trust the glass. What you see isn't always you." From then on, I avoided the mirror. I used my phone camera for quick checks, a poor substitute, but a necessary one. This place was messing with my head. The following night, as darkness settled over the city, I was back at my desk. A faint, childish giggle drifted from the hallway, light and playful. It sounded completely innocent. My first thought was kids, maybe a family checking in late. But then I remembered the clerk's warning. The older guests appreciate their quiet. And it was well past midnight. The laughter grew louder, closer, echoing with a strange, hollow quality. It became almost taunting. I felt an inexplicable urge to open the door, to see the source of the innocent sound. But a sudden, sharp pain flared behind my eyes, and that familiar whisper clawed at my mind. "Do not seek them, especially the children. They will lead you astray." I gripped the arms of my chair, forcing myself to stay put. The laughter circled my door for what felt like an eternity, sometimes fading, then returning with renewed, unsettling glee. It was a game, and I wasn't going to play. By the third day, I was a wreck. I hadn't slept properly. The whispers, the shifting reflections, the phantom laughter. They were chipping away at my sanity. I decided I had enough research, enough of this hotel. I packed my bags, determined to check out at dawn. As the first light of morning touched the city, I picked up my suitcase. That's when I saw it. Tucked under my door, a small, yellowed slip of paper. It wasn't there before. My hands trembled as I picked it up. Scrawled in elegant looping script were 3 words. "You broke them." My heart stopped. I hadn't broken any written rules, but the invisible rules, the whispered warnings. Had I? I looked around the room, feeling exposed. The air grew heavy. The old wardrobe, the mirror, the door to the hall, they all seemed to watch me. I didn't wait. I practically ran out of room 408, down the grand staircase, and past the startled desk clerk. I dropped the key on the counter, not caring about the paperwork. As I pushed through the heavy doors and onto the sunlit streets of New Orleans, I took a deep, shuddering breath. I was out. But as I looked back at the imposing facade of the Belle Reve, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper seemed to follow me on the wind, like the rustle of an old dress. Some rules are meant to be broken. Others follow you home.